Action.
Great. Okay, I'd like to call to order a meeting of the Ulster County Capital Resource Corporation. Roll call. Let it reflect the same as before. Right, Rose?
Yep.
There you go. The mission of the Ulster County Capital Resource Corp is to promote community and economic development in Ulster County in ways that complement the work of Ulster County, primarily through issuing and selling bonds for nonprofit institutions. Everybody take a minute, if you haven't already done, and review the minutes from the March 17th meeting. At that time, I will entertain a motion to accept the minutes as presented.
Chair, I motion to accept the minutes to the previous meeting for the UCCRC.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Do I have
Second.
anything on the question? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Nothing in executive session? Financials?
If you recall, the February financials were accidentally omitted from the last CRC board meeting. So we have February and March here, just in case you had any questions. There's no activity, for the most part, for the CRC in the month of February, except for grants that were given out. And then for March, we quarterly bill our administrative fees to the CRC. So there's our administrative fees for the first full quarter, as well as some more grants that were given out. Rick, do you have anything to add?
No,
Okay.
I'm good.
Can I get a motion to accept the financials as presented?
Make a motion. We accept those financials as presented.
Okay, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
On the question, anyone? No? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, carried. Thank you. Chair's report, let it, it's basically a duplicate of my chair report under the IDA, so I'm just very busy. CEO's report.
I have nothing to add, Chair.
You have nothing to add. Audit committee.
There's nothing to add for, well, I guess I should say the same thing as with the IDA. The auditors have received our Paris report. They sent back some questions. I went through those questions and had a few for Joe Scott. We sent them back to the auditors, and I'll have a phone call with Scott Lang from UHY later today.
Anything under finance?
No, sir.
Okay. Brings us to governance.
The governance committee met on April 6th. We brought up the discrimination harassment prevention policies and the sexual harassment policies. We moved them over to council. Joe has drawn up resolutions for those. You can see them on page 11 of your report. With that, we've also moved ahead with discussions on the mentoring program and also community investment policy.
We have to do a roll call vote, a motion and a roll call vote. All right, I make the motion to accept the harassment policies in the foil. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second.
Roll call, please.
James Malcolm,
Yes.
Diane and Faye are absent, and Michael Ham,
Yes.
Orlando Reese,
Yes.
Daniel Savona,
Yes.
and Richard Jones.
Yes.
Great, thank you.
Great. Thank you very much. That's it, Chair, for you.
I did notice that it doesn't say anything about political beliefs in here.
Are you feeling discriminated again?
I am, because I'm a
Always.
lone wolf out here, so it'll protect me from all of you.
We'll circle back on that, Danny.
Thanks, Rose.
Chair, that's
you
my
know
report.
what you're going to see. The guy got 12 new pizza ovens. You're not paying whatever you were for a slice before. running around dressing his kids in a Salvation Army stuff at this point.
That's the report of governance, Chair.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Chair.
Thank you. And thank you for the shenanigans of an unnamed board member. We'll just move that
Shenanigans,
forward. That
writing
brings
that
us to
down.
old business. Anything under old business?
No.
New business, the PPE grant applications for board consideration, bunch of those, right?
Wow.
There are a lot, so something for you all to consider is a few issues or not here. So number one, the funds available based on the $100,000 that we had set aside is $46,578. The grants that are here are $67,143.51. So we noted, if you look over towards the right-hand side, the date that everything had come in. There are some that came in after the date, like I had mentioned, what the issues were. And there was another one that came in much later, April 13th. It was mailed on time based on the postmark. It just, our postal service at its finest. So that's the date that it was finalized. We wanted to give them all to you to decide if you wanted to spend more than the 100,000 or if you wanted to cap off based on the date and time that things were finalized.
I would suggest that the board consider that, just give them what they asked and just, it's now over. So it means we'll spend more than $100,000.
22,000 more, right?
Right. The application process is now done unless we
It is.
decide at some point to
Close up shop.
But I wouldn't want to have to pick and choose who gets and who doesn't get.
Really, Rick? Really?
Yeah. And I'd also want to say thank you to Rose and team, because I know that this was not an easy thing to kind of do. And she and her team really worked extremely hard, helping people, listening to people back and forth with applications. So I think that, Rose, you guys really did help our county out with a lot. So thank you to you and your staff for everything.
One thing I wanted to add, thank you, Orlando, you bringing that up, I wanted to actually tell you all, I was at the IDA workshop on, last week, and the Office of State Comptroller gave a report on the number of grants that people had given out, that IDAs had given out in response to this PPE thing. And I'm going to share my screen quickly. I screenshotted it and saved it for you all. We are the number one spot for the number of grants given out. So that's, of course, as of what was reported to the ABO so far this year. There could be some that aren't on time with their reporting. But even though our dollar amount wasn't, as you see, wasn't as high, we were able to reach a lot more businesses and organizations than anybody else. And
Will Kemble report this for us?
Well, he's on, I hope so. But this is just the IDA. This is not the CRC. And you know that we gave out a lot of grants as well through the CRC. So I just wanted to bring that up because I was
Nice
really,
work. Good work.
really proud to see
I think that's
that.
amazing. Thank you, Rose. This is really great.
Yeah.
Look, our county was hurting and people were hurting and businesses were hurting, and we stepped up very quickly. I think we did ours. I mean, we were ready and going by April, May of last year. I mean, you got to really think we were on this really, really quick. So again, back to you, Rose. You and your team did a great job, and those applications were not easy. And we've all seen them, and we get to glance over them. You had to actually dig deep into all of them. So I really want to thank you for the hard work, because, look at that, 68 that were done. I'm sure there were a few others that just didn't meet things you had to say no, and we said no. So that number is even higher of people that applied, but this is great.
Yeah, I'll get a full total for you next month of how many we did between the CRC and the IDA. But yeah, I just thought that was great because we're light years ahead of the other ones here. So
I wonder if it's a good idea, Rose, at some point, either this report or one that you put together yourself, just do a press release of it.
Okay.
All
That's
right.
no problem.
Well, maybe Mr. Kimball will be happy to work with us and say
Okay,
something to the county.
We did because it's the right thing to do, correct?
Yes.
Correct.
Okay, you want to put it on our webpage, put it on our webpage.
Yes.
Let's just measure ourselves against ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
But I agree with everyone who's spoken on it. Okay, so where are we at now?
So,
Anything else?
So we just need a motion and a vote
Okay,
on
is there
whether or
anything
not
that
to go.
stands out that's of concern?
No.
Any board members review and have any concerns?
I think it's acceptable.
Okay, well then I'll make a motion to accept as presented and pay the claims or the applications.
I'll second.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Carried.
Wonderful.
Public
Thank you.
comment, agenda items? No one? I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All right.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. All right, do me a favor, Mike, Rose, and Joe, stay on.
Okay.
Everybody else.
Great.
Thank you.
Danny,
Aaron,
we've
you can
been
stop
sent to the
recording.
corner.